I always believe that we could achieve more than what people give us credit for, but you got to go out there, put in the work. You got to go out there, work daily, get better each and every day, and just put your head down and grind. And by the end of the time of the season, you look up and you might be in a position like this. It's a very electrifying fan base, game, atmosphere. So, I was excited playing it, but you can't let the outside distractions, distract you from what the main goal is, and that's to win.
Pretty simple from Jayden Daniels. The main goal is to win. He's played really clean football through 2 career playoff games so far, Matthew, and both games on the road.
He's been unbelievable. I mean, to win 2 road playoff games as a rookie, and I think it was Kyle Brandt that shared this stat on social media, where it was just something like the defensive rank of all the rookie quarterbacks that have won, like Roethlisberger, Sean King, all these rookies, Mark
Purdy
Sanchez,
and
Sanchez. Purdy, where their defense is ranked. Yeah. It's all first, second, or third.
Yeah, Purdy's was third, was first, Sanchez was third, like top 3 to 5.
All top 3 defenses. Sean King's was top 3 as well, and with Tampa Bay, and the Commanders are 18th. Yeah. Like, he's doing this with the 18th ranked defense. Again, like, they punted once. Yeah. They've punted once in 2 playoff games, the Commanders have. And they haven't turned the ball over. So, I mean, like, the last interception when they're down 14 and, Goff throws in, fine, whatever, that doesn't count. But the Jameson Williams pick, the Jared Goff fumble, the pick 6 that Jared Goff throws, and by the way, even the one at the half was huge, because if they could have gotten some points, they're going into the half with points and some momentum, Sanders still played, it's interesting. So many people make such a big deal of Jayden Daniels, rightfully so, being the number 2 overall pick. But Sanders still in the second round has been a home run.
That's Adam Peters, right? Adam Peters is now going to be in 5 of the last 6 NFC Championship games. And I understand what the Niners had for a while, but what he's done in such a short time with the Commanders, because it wasn't a lock that you just take Jayden Daniels second overall. This is a good quarterback class, and we're seeing that. Sanders still, who was a wide receiver at Michigan, they flip him to corner. He's got ball skills. He's been awesome for that defense, and you could play him all over the field. That's the difference with him. Yeah. We talked about the matchups going into this game. We're like, I don't know. How are you going to stop, this guy, this guy, this guy? And Sanders still was really the difference maker on the back end.
Yeah. I mean, the story is Daniels. Daniels having the greatest rookie season that anyone has ever had at the quarterback position. I think now there are 5 dudes at the quarterback position in the NFL. It's Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, and Daniels. Daniels is the 5th guy. And frankly, and people get upset because I understand that everyone did the same thing with C.J. Stroud to an extent last year, and this hasn't been as good. Daniels is playing at a much higher level than Stroud did last year. And I think that the gap between him and the next guys, which would be Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, whatever, Daniels is a tier above those guys the ways he's
I was talking
playing
with Jason Garrett about this, and I said, hey, this is the negative Commanders fan in me, just because I've been burned. But is there any chance that this is an RG3 thing? RG3 had this miracle rookie year and then just was never the same guy after this. And Garrett looked at me like I was crazy. He's just like, this guy is, no disrespect to RG3, he's just like, this guy is on such a different level than so any other. Not even close. Yeah. Not even close. The reads that he is making, the plays that he's making. I will say this. I mean, I think you could make an argument that the long pass to Diami Brown, and we've seen all the screenshots where a guy is literally on his helmet and it goes right in there, that might be the throw of the playoffs so far. And I mean, just the accuracy when he throws deep is just, and it feels like to me that you see some quarterbacks that just they have to haul off and
no, it's effortless.
he flicks it.
It's effortless.
He just flicks a wrist.
To me, though, kind of the thing that makes him so special, it's not necessarily the athletic traits, it's just the calmness in the pocket, where there are a couple plays where it just as an NFL fan, you've seen it before, and it's all right, he's going to throw it away or he's going to take a sack, and he just calmly processes, okay, nothing's open, just sneak away and then run for 10 yards. He's turning negative plays into positive plays frequently, and his decision-making for someone who's a rookie behind not an amazing offensive line with one above average receiver, it's insane.
Well, I think that's the biggest difference with him now compared to his last few years in college. He keeps his eyes up when he's pressured. He was for a while in college a guy that he got pressured and he's like, I'm just going to run because I'm the best athlete on the field. And that makes sense in college, but that's so hard to transition at the NFL level. We've seen Lamar do a really good job of it, but we've seen a lot of guys fail at it. he's a 10 out of 10 at it, where Cliff has him working with his eyes up, and he understands how guys are going to run with him when the play breaks down.
12 of 16 for 190 yards and a touchdown when blitzed. I mean, that offensive line isn't great to begin with. They lose Sam Cosme, which is a brutal injury. He's tore his ACL. He's out for the year for the remainder of the playoffs. So they're going to have to figure out a lot of protection stuff against Philadelphia. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, and obviously later this week as well. But I mean, just how quickly he extends plays or gets rid of the ball. And I keep talking about this again. Dimey Brown's had a really nice playoff run, and they've gotten some good production at Olamide Zaccheaus. But, no one was clamoring for either of those guys in August. Zach Ertz was out of football, and a lot of people were like, that's Cliff just doing a buddy for his old veteran favorite. It's going to be Ben Sinnott here by week 2. And Ertz has been fantastic. Ertz has been fantastic this year, making clutch catch after clutch catch. They got good production out of Noah Brown earlier in the year as well. So he's doing it out there. I mean, McLaurin's special, but the other guys out there are, playing at a higher level, I think, because of him and that offense.
What was surprising to me, though, Matthew, in a way, is that just how effectively they ran the ball with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler, who was I know Austin Eckler had the really bad concussion. He wasn't seen much towards the end of the season, but, I mean, he was a huge part of that game. And Brian Robinson just feels like he's just impossible to tackle. He's just so big, so tall, so strong. And the fact that, that Lions run defense has been really solid all year. Their issues have been playing man coverage with their corners, but they just destroyed them on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was going to be the biggest issue. Was it they're not going to be able to run. They're going to turn Washington into a one-dimensional offense. And I said this before the game. I said, listen, if they turn it into a track, people were asking me what I thought, and I was just like, if they turn it into a track meet, I think they got a shot. But I said, if I'm Detroit, we can't stop the run. We haven't stopped the run all year, and they're so good. If I was Detroit, I would run it 35 to 40 times and just never give Jayden Daniels the ball. And honestly, they should have done that. I think they win the game if they do that. It was odd, especially because it's I'm not saying anything, super insightful. Everyone watching the game was just like, Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging 12 yards a clip,
right?
And then next thing you know, they're still chucking it everywhere. And But I was just like, because Brian Robinson struggled towards the second part of the season, right? I mean, this was his most rushing yards since week 13, also his first rushing touchdown since week 13. Maybe it was because Eckler was out and they had to lean on Robinson more, but
and he was hurt a lot this year.
He was banged up as well, but down the stretch, Jeremy McNichols and Chris Rodriguez were more effective. And so I agree with you, Jay. Robinson ran fantastic with authority, and Eckler was huge, just getting big catches and runs after the catch, and just even his rushing as well. For a smaller guy, he was breaking tackles. And proud Fantasy Life investor, Austin Eckler, let's go.
He kind of turned back the clock when you saw him in space, where nobody could really get a handle on him. He was making people miss, and then he could spin through contact. It really felt like a vintage Austin Eckler in the pass game performance.
Yeah. I mean, forget, he was the fantasy MVP in 2022. It's
right,
not that long ago.
Away.
No.
And it felt like it was such an under-the-radar signing, them adding him. It's like, why is Austin Eckler going to the Commanders? Doesn't he want to go to a contender? This team won 4 games last year. Their win total 6.5. Rookie quarterback, and now all of a sudden he's a integral part of a team that may go to the Super Bowl.
Adam Peters should win General Manager of the Year. I mean, you think about they're just underrating signings like that. Luvu. Luvu has had an unbelievable.
And he's bounced around all over the place.
And he has been unbelievable this year for us.
Yeah, he's makes so many plays in space, plays fast, can rush the passer, can play off the ball. I agree with you. Adam Peters should be Executive of the Year, especially when you stack up what they're dealing with versus where they are now. That's not an award that, Brandon Beane to the Bills, amazing GM, but the Bills have been here before, right? Brett Beach isn't going to get that for the Chiefs.
Bills had Josh Allen last
Howie Roseman's not going to get that for the Eagles. So, it makes a lot of sense.
I absolutely should. We'll see if that ends up happening. But it was a great game. Dimey Brown, 6 for 98. He's in 2 playoff games, 11 for 187 and a touchdown. We'll talk a little bit more about the Lions in the future. I'll say this. I wanted the Commanders to win. Obviously, I was very excited about it. But I feel bad that it had to happen against the Lions, because the Lions are an easy team to root for, right? Dan Campbell's awesome, and Amon Ra was my ride or die 2 years ago. I like the Lions. We like Jared Goff here. I feel again, I'm happy we won, but like, I wish it was on a different,
Especially against the Eagles.
I'm not going to be sad if we beat the Eagles, but I'm going to be, very, very happy if we beat the Eagles. So no love lost there. But I do feel for Lions fans because that's a fan base that is, that deserves happiness. Yeah.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.